We start with the rise in online abuse of footballers, with Gareth Bale suggesting today that he would join other players in a collective boycott of social media. It comes after two of his Wales teammates were racially abused on Instagram after their win over Mexico at the weekend. Instagram have told us they've disabled a number of accounts that sent messages to the players. Former Arsenal striker Thierry Henry disabled all his social media accounts over the weekend, as he described online abuse as too toxic to ignore. Bale was speaking to our reporter Ian Bolton ahead of Wales' World Cup qualifier against Czech Republic.
If everyone came together, I think, and decided to kind of, as you said, kind of boycott social media to make a statement, if everybody did it at once, maybe not just one or two people, but if we had kind of a campaign where a lot of big influential people in sport, in other forms of life, came off social media to make this statement, then yeah, I definitely think it could help. And if that was the case, yeah, I'm obviously all for that.
Rabbi Matondo and Ben Cabango, pictured here training this morning, were the Wales players to receive racist abuse via Instagram over the weekend. Wales caretaker boss Rob Page says they have the full backing of the Welsh Football Association.
The important thing for us, and my focus is on my players at this moment in time, and it's making sure that they're okay. They are. They're strong characters. We'll make sure they've got the full backing of the Association of Wales. They've got the full backing of the players and the staff, and it's not acceptable. You know, any form of abuse like that they have to read online after is completely unacceptable, and we have zero tolerance. We've acted on it straight away. I had breakfast with both players the following morning and made sure that they were in the right frame of mind and as least affected by it as possible, and just reiterated that, you know, we're there to support them and back them. So that was our focus. We can't, you know, we have a protocol in place that if anything happens on the pitch, which we'll stick to, but that we're not going to focus on that, Rob. We just want to focus on making sure our players are okay and not harmed by any abuse that they've had.
It wasn't nice to wake up on Sunday to hear these things, and yeah, obviously Ben and Rabbi and anyone else knows that we're here to support them, and obviously we're behind them, and if they need to talk to us at all, obviously we're here. But yeah, it's obviously very disappointing, and something needs to obviously happen in terms of the social media companies, whether, I don't know, people, to get an account you need to put your password in, because then I think that'll stop I guess people saying things, because then you'll be able to trace them down and hold them accountable for what they're saying. So yeah, obviously it's at the moment people can create kind of an account and say something, delete it, and you never know who said it and where they are from. So yeah, something like that will obviously then hold people accountable, and I think that'll stop a lot of people from saying these horrible things.
Well, we asked the Culture Secretary, Oliver Dowden, about this today, and social media companies have been warned they face fines of up to 10% of their global revenues if they fail to take action. Mr. Dowden says the government is committed to eradicating the problem.
Last thing at night, first thing in the morning, in bed over the breakfast table, they're getting this abuse coming through. That's why we're committed to bringing forward our online harms legislation, which will put obligations on social media companies to make sure they deal with this. And if they fail to deal with this, they could face fines of up to 10% of their global revenue. Now, if you take some of those really big social media companies, those are huge amounts of fines that they could face. And that shows the seriousness with which we treat it. And I am engaging with sports to make sure that we frame those rules in a way that helps stamp out racism.
Mr. Dowden's colleague, the Minister for Sport and Tourism, Nigel Huddleston, has told us this afternoon the government is looking into a way to prosecute people for online hate, even if they remain anonymous on their social media accounts.
This issue of anonymity is a key one, and there's pros and cons online to that as well, because you can imagine there are people wondering about their sexuality. There's people who've got difficulties with, for example, eating disorders, where being anonymous online can be helpful for them to have a discussion in a way that, you know, showing your full identity could actually cause them problems. So there are genuine complexities here, but also it's important that we make sure that the existing laws are fit for purpose, and we're looking at whether actually this anonymity needs to be strengthened, because we can still take people to task and we can still prosecute people, even if on the face of it they may look like they're anonymous, but actually the social media companies know who they are and we can still go after them. So it may not always be people as anonymous as they may think they are.